Yes, good morning, students. Unmute and say something.
Good morning, teacher.
Yes, Namanda, you're welcome. I want to thank you for being so patient. We are late by 18 minutes, but thank you for your patience. We're working on the devices here. We had a slight technical problem, but nonetheless, we are here. Namanda, are you the one who took us through the prayer last time?
Yes, teacher.
I think you should be taking us through.
Teacher Mwanje can take us through. Morris.
Okay, Mwanje, you are requested to take us through the prayer by Namanda. I think she delegated you today. You can
Morning,
invoke God.
everyone.
Good morning, Morris.
Okay, let's pray. Dear Father, we thank you for this wonderful moment we are going to have with our teacher, the online lessons. Father, let whoever who is going to join be blessed and remember what is going to be taught. Father, we call upon the spirit of wisdom and understanding to come and be part of us so that we can understand each and everything that they are going to teach. Father, we thank you for you have blessed us with life. We thank you for everything, for our teachers who have gone to Rwanda. We thank you for everything, Father. In Jesus' name we have prayed and believed.
Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, I think God has been invoked. Thank you for that wonderful prayer. It is biology. I don't know what do you have on your timetable?
Biology.
Yes, it is biology. And this link works for both biology and chemistry. However, today, Mr. Sentai and Mr. Joshua are traveling and they might not make it to the meeting. Though Mr. Sentai will be here once in a while to see what is taking place, to see that people who are joining are not aliens. I think he's already there with us, though he's also traveling. But we pray for their journey mercies that the Lord might lead them and blessings to wherever they are going to. So, I want to welcome you to yet another third episode of biology. And today we are going to discuss a few things. But before we go on and discuss the few things, I'll first take you through the assignments that I assigned yesterday, in case some people are finding problems in accessing the assignments. I think I'll share the screen here. Let me first share the screen. How to find the assignments and how to attempt them. So the links were shared on WhatsApp, and that is the S6 Biology Biochem group. And I pinned here the messages. If you want to access the links, I pinned the messages. You go and tap in the pinned message. There is a section here, find the biology assignment here, or there is another section here, the classrooms.google.com. So if you click on this My Classrooms, this will take you to Classrooms in Google. And let me share that screen as well. Let me share that screen as well. Screen sharing. So if you click that link that I just showed you previously, you will be taken to this page here, DNA gene expression and glucose metabolism. Okay, so the due date is today. Type in your responses in the spaces provided. Here is a scenario which you need to read through, and for you to answer, you click on answer form here, and it will take you to another tab. Here is the scenario. So what you do, they'll ask for your email, which you need to type in, then record as the email to be included, because when I mark the work, it must be returned to your email so that you see the marked work. Then here, how is the structure of the genetic material found in the nucleus of the beta cell suited to its function? You type in your answer, then you submit, then you also go to here, you type in your answer like that, continue typing your answers, you type also your answer there, you type another answer here, then here you also type your answer. After that, you can allow Google to send you a copy of your responses so that you see how you have attempted. Then you can click on submit. In case the work that you have attempted is good, you can click on submit. Then if you see that you've made a mistake in some of the responses here, you can click here, you clear the form, and they clear the form. That removes the answers. Then it takes you back to a fresh page where you can type in your correct answers. After typing the correct answers, then you type in submit. I'm going to look through the work manually. I'm not going to allow Google to mark for me. I'm going to mark by myself. So I'll read through each and everyone's work and see what you have presented. Yeah, so that is for that assignment, unless we have someone with a question about the assignment. Anyone who has a question about the assignment? Can unmute and talk to us in case you have a question about the assignment. If there is no question, you can react by clicking on the other sign of OK, thumbs up, that sign, in case you have no question. Okay, so Amanda Gloria has no question. How about the rest? Akumu, Mwanje.
Excuse me,
Catherine,
teacher.
you're excused, Mwanje.
Master, for me, I tried to go to the link, but it refused, Master.
How did it refuse?
I don't know.
What did it show you when you clicked the link?
They said that reload failed.
Reload failed.
Yeah.
Let me. How about the first link? I sent 2 links.
For assignments.
Yes, but it is for one of the assignment. It is one assignment, though I sent 2 alternative links.
For maybe I considered the first one.
In case you have signed in your Google account, then it will come. In case you've not yet signed in your Google account, you'll find some challenges. But let me go back to the assignment, so that I assigned more people. It seems you are not among the people in my class, I think. Yeah, sorry for that. I was just getting a phone here so that I can access the Google account and see which individuals I've assigned. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, we are back here. I'll be logging into my Google account. I hope I don't have any background noises. In case there are background noises, you can raise up your hand so that I tell these people to run away. I chase these people away who are making noise. Anyone hearing the background noises? Yes, your hand is up. Who is that one? Nabuzale, Catherine. Let me chase these people away. Alright, I think I've chased these people away. They are going to play from their side. And I hope there are no background noises. So, Mwanje, I was going to the classroom to check how I've assigned, okay, the number of people that have been assigned. Okay, let me go to. Meanwhile, as I check for the people that have been assigned, someone is in the waiting room. I'm going to make one of you here. I think Amanda was the first one to come in. I'm going to make you a co-host. You can help me admit these people who are in the waiting room. Make a co-host. Yes, Amanda, you are now the co-host. You can admit whoever is in the waiting room. You go to the participants and you click on the participant in the waiting room and you click on admit. Are we there, Amanda? Good.
Yes, teacher.
Yeah, you are now a co-host. Fine, Amanda. You can also do that role of being a co-host. Meanwhile, there is an assignment that Mr. Sentai gave yesterday, I think, that you are supposed to present. Are you aware of that tomorrow? Members, are you aware of tomorrow's presentation? I don't know whether you are ready. Pavin, you are okay? You're saying okay, you are aware of tomorrow's presentation. Akumo, okay, is also aware. You are assigned, you are given an assignment, and I believe you are going to share. You'll prepare. I don't know whether you have a laptop or a phone. You can either prepare a slide or a Word document which you'll have to share the screen. And I don't know whether we know how to share the screen, because basically I wanted to take you through that so that you don't find challenges tomorrow as you're discussing. Yes, Amanda. Say something.
Teacher, we know how to share. I know.
You know how to share the screen, eh? Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Akumu Betty, do you know how to share the screen? Betty Akumu has handed. Okay, I'm now looking at the assignment that I gave yesterday, and I've seen two people have handed in, Nicholas and Betty. Then the rest have not yet handed in.
And teacher,
And yes,
I also submitted my work.
I don't know how you submitted because I can't see your name. How are you signed? What is your name on your Google account?
Amanda.
Amanda. I can't see here. Because I'm here, I'm seeing the people who have been assigned. There's Anzoa, Makilena, Nabukenya, Nachiuka, Ultratoxic, and Zaid. Those people have been assigned, but they have not handed in. But Betty Akumu and Nicholas, I don't know Nicholas, Wanyama has handed in. Amanda, I've not seen your name. I don't know why, but I can't see your name here. Could you have used another Google account? Because here I see some names which I don't know. For example, Nicholas Wanyama. and Makilena. Who is Makilena? Altotoxic has the assignment, but he hasn't had. Yes? Yes, Akumo Betty, what are you saying?
I'm saying that
Yes?
Wanyama is in our class.
Wanyama
In our class.
is in your class. Is he present today? I can't see him in this lesson.
He doesn't attend.
He doesn't attend, but he does the assignment.
Yes.
Why doesn't he attend?
I don't know.
Okay. How about Anzo Anansi? Who is Anzo Anansi?
Also in our class.
Does she attend?
No.
But she has the assignment. Makilena?
I don't know that.
Nabu Kenya?
It's also in our class.
But doesn't attend.
Yes.
How comes that these people are not attending, have the assignment, but people who are attending, only a few have the assignment, like Altotoxic and Betty Akumu have the assignment. The others have no assignment. They have not clicked the link. It means that's what it means. Mwanje, you'll click the link again. Okay, let me allow Mwanje. Go to WhatsApp, Mwanje, and share your screen. You click the link and I see what exactly is happening.
Mr. Wanyonyi,
Yes.
teacher, I'm suggesting that maybe you send me your email and I forward to you my work, because when I requested for the copy of the work for me, I received it.
Did you click submit?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, let me give you my email. What's your email? What's your first of all? As you're submitting, didn't you see my emails there? Did it show you my email?
Not teacher.
Okay. Catherine is saying sometime. I don't know whether you are attempting or because I can't see you among people who have been assigned. At least among people who have been assigned, you do click there and show that you received the work, but you are just attempting. That is Catherine. But meanwhile, let me give you the email for submitting the assignments. It is in the chat, gmail.com. Mwanje has got it. Okay. Mwanje has got it. Let me check. Have you logged in, Mwanje? Okay. Remember with this work, the deadline is today at 11:59. I don't know whether all of you will have handed in or you need some more time. If you need some more time, like Nabuzare Catherine, I don't know how much time you need to attempt one, because it is one scenario question with the 5 tasks. How much time would you need? Admit Bakita. Amanda, Bakita is in the waiting room. Let me help you. How much time would you need for the assignment? For those people who have not handed in. How much? Yes. Bakita, you've come with your noise. We shall take you back to the waiting room.
Sorry.
Okay. So, how much time would you need for the assignment? Members, I don't know whether people are present or they are just taking tea, which is okay. Akumu is saying okay. I don't know why. Okay, Akumu has submitted. I'll check through her work. Then, who else has not submitted? These people have not submitted. How much time do you need? And Zoa, these people are not yet there. Teacher, like till 3. 3 what? 3 minutes later, or 3 seconds later, or 3 hours later, or 3 p.m. Be clear. Pavintendo. Or 3 days later. 3 p.m. Today, I think. Fine. You still have time. The deadline is tonight at 11:59. Tonight at 11:59 p.m. Fine. I think Pavintend will have finished. And Bukenya is in the waiting room. Please, Bukenya, join me. Better. Fine. The deadline is tonight. So you still have some more time. Let me... My PC is not charging. Let me ensure that the PC is charging. Okay. Fine. Bakita, you have something to say. Please do say, Bakita.
Chami, I tried downloading the textbooks you sent, but it's only functional approach which opened.
Why?
See, I don't know.
Do you have enough space on your phone?
Yes.
Then download it again. I don't know. Others, what about other people? Did you receive all the books that were forwarded to you and successfully opened them? Unmute and speak. Please unmute and speak. Ask all to unmute. Yes, unmute and speak. Catherine, did you receive the books and opened them successfully? Let me go one by one now. People don't want to unmute.
Yes, teacher.
Did you open the books successfully?
Yeah.
That one didn't receive a problem. Akumu, did the books open?
Yes, teacher.
Pavintendo, did the books open?
Mr. Osman refused.
Yours, Bukenya Ibrahim, yours refused.
The
Yes, mine
functional
also
approach
refused.
is the one that opened.
Who is that one?
Functional approach is the one that opened.
Pavintendo, only functional approach opened. BS and others refused.
Yes.
Okay, which app are you having on your phone that opens PDF?
PDF itself.
Charlie, I'm using Phoenix.
Which app are you using?
Mansa, may have Firefox.
Firefox. Bukenya has Firefox.
I have Firefox.
Okay. Then let me ask this person whose books opened all. I think. Who was that? Akumu, your books opened, right?
Only one.
Yes.
Only one.
Only one book. Functional approach is the one that opened. Yes,
Yes,
Akumu, we are still talking to you.
yes, teacher.
Which app do you use for opening the PDF? She has gone silent. I don't know. Amanda, all your books opened, right? Amanda? Amanda, are you still there?
Yes, teacher.
Did all your books open?
Yes, teacher.
Which app do you use for opening the books?
All PDF reader.
PDF reader.
Yes.
I think the rest should also download PDF reader because Firefox is limited in case the PDF is too big, it has a bigger weight. It fails to open sometimes due to its limited cache space. There is what we call cache, and Firefox has a smaller cache. So in case you are using Firefox, you find challenges, or any other PDF, you find some challenges. But in case you have PDF reader, it's better. Or in case you download Microsoft 365 app on your phone, it can help you read the PDFs. Or some people have WPS on their phones. In case you have WPS, it will enable you to see the PDFs clearly. So in case you are finding challenges in opening the other PDFs, please kindly download either Microsoft 365 or PDF reader or WPS, any of those. I hope you will be sorted. I don't know whether those people with Apple phones, I don't know whether those apps are on App Store. I don't really know. But the ones that I'm talking about, they are for people with Android phones. In case you have an Android phone, those apps can be accessed. But in case you have an Apple phone, I do not have, in case you have an iPhone, I do not know whether it is on the Apple App Store. I really can't tell, but you will check. You will check. If you fail to get, I'll look for another alternative on Apple Store, then I'll have to send you the alternative in the group. All right, that is it. That is it for the PDFs. Who is leaving the room? Wait. Bagambye. All right, so here we are. Participants, someone was leaving and coming back. I don't know whether the issue was network. Fine. Last time we discussed about the DNA, then the process of protein synthesis. And that's the assignment that is there. People are leaving. I'm seeing 67 participants. I don't know what they are going to do outside there. And if I'm to go back to the previous charts, let me see whether I had the previous charts there. If I go back to them, let me hope I'll be capable of seeing the previous charts. This PC, USB drive F, Zoom online mid-morning class. Was it mid-morning? Hope it was mid-morning. Mid-morning session. In the first session, I think the text. Yeah, I can see here the previous charts. Someone had told us to talk about DNA, that is beta-Akumu, which we have talked about. Then plant hormones. Please, I'm seeing people in the waiting room. Amanda, please admit them. Admit those people in the waiting room. Yes, that's good. Yeah, so Betty Akumu mentioned, I don't know that it's Betty Akumu, but she typed plant hormones, immunity. Catherine typed immunity. Someone also typed asthma. Someone talked about allergic reactions, even elaboration on the electron transport chain. Teacher, you didn't give questions on genetics. Someone said the crossing over, mostly on genetic crossing. Okay. So among this, I'm looking for the next thing that we should look at. I think we should, since last time we looked at protein synthesis, we can review. We can review on genetics before we move on to the other parts. Can have a quick review on genetics. Quick review on genetics. What do you think, members? Should we look at genetics? Should we have a quick review on genetics? Yes, Amanda, say something.
Yes, teacher, I just wanted to say yes.
Okay. Then Akumu, I think Akumu Bet is also saying yes.
Yes, teacher.
How about the rest? That is Pavin Tendo. Pavin Tendo is saying yes, I think. Yeah, is the other side of the participants. Okay. Fine. All right. Let me just begin with a slight introduction to genetics before we move on to the other extensions of the Mendelian laws. Your screen sharing is paused. Stop share. Now, genetics basically is the study of the inheritance in simple terms, or it is the study of how different characters or genes are passed on from one generation to another. Remember, for every organism must perform the 7 life processes for it to thrive in a given environment, and among the 7 life processes, ability to pass on genes to the next generation is one of them, and these genes are passed on to the next generations via reproduction. So reproduction is the process that basically enables parents to pass on genes to their offsprings. And so while we are looking at genetics, there are a few terminologies that we should be aware of, because without those terminologies, we shall not be capable of understanding the basics of genetics. The main thing here is to understand the basics of genetics before you go into process. And by understanding the basics, there are some terminologies that are used in genetics which you need to be aware of. And one of them, I think you should be outlining some of the terminologies. Let me not be the only one speaking here. Let me just give you one example, then you'll give me the rest with the explanation or definition. One of the terminology would be an allele. An allele is an alternative form of a gene, and for diploid organisms, diploid, it means that an organism that has 2 sets of chromosomes in all its cells, apart from the germs, gamete cells, or the cells that are supposed to form the gametes. For example, the sperms and the ova, they have 1 set, so they are haploid, but most of the organisms are diploid. So for diploid organisms, their genotype or genetic makeup is always made up of 2 sets of chromosomes, and each set of chromosomes, on a chromosome, it's where we find different genes arranged in loci. Genes arranged in loci, in case you are to get here. Let me use this picture here. Here. Back to screen sharing. Let me share the screen here. That one. Okay. Here we have two sets of chromosomes on this screen here. Let me get my pointers and what have you. Pointer, where is the pointer? Yeah. So here we have two sets of chromosomes, and these chromosomes are from a diploid organism. Then on each chromosome there are what we call loci. And these different colors that you're seeing are the different loci that carry different genes. So genes are found on a locus of a chromosome, and on one chromosome, when we look at this red part here, this red tip, the red tip shows an allele. On the other side of the other chromosome, which is homologous, which is a sister chromatid, we can see a red part as well. So these two, that red and red, that combine, one red part forms an allele, and then the other red part also another allele. Then these two alleles in combination, they form what we call the genotype. And these alleles can either be dominant or recessive alleles. So there I pose a question and allow you to tell me, what do you understand by a dominant allele? Dominant allele. Let me choose the person here. Catherine, what do you understand by the term dominant allele? Unmute and talk to us, Catherine. Catherine, we're waiting for you. Meanwhile, who else wants to help Catherine as she's thinking about the answer? Who wants to help Catherine? Dominant allele. What's a dominant allele? Anyone can unmute to talk to us.
The dominant allele is
Yes.
one that is expressed in an individual.
The one that is expressed in an individual. Okay. But a recessive allele can also be expressed when it is in a homozygous state. So I think maybe in a heterozygous state, the allele that, allele whose traits are expressed in a heterozygous state is what we call a dominant allele. How about a recessive allele? That's good, Pavin, thank you. Recessive allele. Akumo Betty.
Yes, teacher.
Yes, what do you understand by recessive allele?
Teacher,
Yes.
no idea.
The answer has disappeared. Akumu Betty,
Yes, teacher, the answer has disappeared.
why? Okay. Bukenya, have you ever heard of a recessive allele?
Yes, teacher.
Can you briefly tell us what you understand? Basically, in your own words, what do you understand
Master,
by an allele being recessive?
what I understand, yeah?
Yes.
Recessive allele is that whose traits are expressed only in homozygous state.
Okay. That's very good. Thank you. Whose traits are expressed only in a homozygous state, or someone can or as well say that it's that allele whose traits are masked by another dominant allele in a heterozygous state. I think that would be better. Okay, thank you for that. I saw Bakita's microphone unmuted. You wanted to tell us, Bakita?
I didn't want to say anything.
Okay, fine. So, that's good. We can proceed. We've now known what an allele is and what a dominant allele is and what a recessive allele is. Now, the other term is pure breeding. Who has ever heard of that term? In case you say a parent is pure breeding. A pure breeding parent. Akumu Betty. Let me ask you. Mwanje. What do you understand by the term pure breeding? A pure breeding parent. Yes, Catherine.
Okay, teacher, I just a try on it.
It is fine.
A pure breeding parent is a parent being crossed, a parent who is crossed, having homozygous alleles and produces same X generation after generation.
Okay, that's very good try, and it's an excellent one as well. So a pure breeding parent is that parent who has, just like what she has said, a parent who has a homozygous dominant or homozygous recessive alleles. These people are making noise.
Guys, teachers' children are crying.
Yeah, so as the co-host,
Betty, you have issues.
They do.
give them milk. Thanks for paying.
Just
By the way, you
no.
can contribute.
You guys must respond amabere.
Excuse me, guys, I'm the co-host here. Keep quiet.
You chased away the mother.
Co-host, you should continue the discussion.
By the way, yeah.
Co-host, where's the co-host? Continue the
I'm-
discussion.
It's
Amanda.
Madam Amanda.
Yes, Bukenya, I've chosen you. Give us another term and explain.
Mwanje. Uh-huh.
I beg your pardon.
Bukenya Marvin, give us another answer and explain it.
I
Bakita?
help
Mwanje.
Kenya.
Okay, you help him.
Uh,
We also have hybrid.
Explain.
Someone else should explain because I've given the answer.
Teacher
That
said
they
you
say
give an
Hey.
answer and explain.
Okay, it's heterozygous in video produced from crossing two parents with what?
With another.
Please, Mwanje. The music back in your background.
Mwanje can help.
Hamzari,
Yo,
what's the problem?
I don't know how to bring out the answer with my own words.
So you are going to
Really?
use my words. Bakita, are you ready to help?
I'm still doing my research.
Guys, open your textbooks. Favin, give us the answer.
Members, all right, members, I'm back. Yeah, where had we stopped? What had you discussed?
Nabuzali has told us hybrid.
A hybrid, yes. What is a hybrid?
It is an organism resulting from parents having different genotypes.
Okay. An organism produced by crossing two parents who are genetically distinct but closely related. For example, if you cross a horse and a donkey and a horse are closely related, but they are of different species. They will produce an organism
A
called a
definition.
new. Yes, Ibrahim.
I beg your pardon on the definition of hybrid.
Come again.
I beg your pardon on the definition.
Okay, a hybrid is that organism that is produced, or an offspring that is produced when two parents who are genetically distinct, or two parents of different species but closely related are crossed. I think you are writing. Okay, I think that is what I mentioned. So crossing of two organisms, two parents of different species, but when the parents are closely related, maybe they belong to the same genus, but different species. Those two organisms produce what we call a hybrid, and that hybrid will have a blend of characters from both of organisms. For example, I was mentioning when you cross a horse and a donkey, you produce an organism called a mule. Here we can see a mule. Do you see the mule on your screens? So if you cross a horse and a donkey, those are two organisms of different species, you obtain another organism called a mule. And a mule has a blend of characters of both the horse and the donkey. And the mule is what we call a hybrid. So a hybrid is obtained by crossing two parents of different species, but the parents must be closely related, because if they are not closely related, we shall have a reproductive isolation or incompatibility of the gametes or the genital parts. For example, you cannot have a cow crossing with a human being. Those two organisms are very, very distant. They share a very distant common ancestor, and so they cannot produce a hybrid. However, when these organisms are closely related, they are most likely to produce a hybrid, and it will have a blend of characters between the two parents. So a pure breeding parent, as I was mentioning earlier on, is that individual that has homozygous dominant or homozygous recessive genotypes. Now, I've mentioned another term there, which is genotypes. And I want, who has not spoken today? People have spoken, but let me choose Pavin Tendo. What is the genotype? What do you understand by the term genotype?
I am not sure. But
Oh, Tendo, I can hear you in slow motion. I don't know whether everyone can also hear Tendo in slow motion. And your voice is coming in slow motion. Yes, Tendo.
I am not sure. But I'm not sure.
Okay. Fine. Let's hear from who? I saw a hand up and it is immediately down. Who was that who raised up the hand? Unmute in case your hand was up. Was that Akumu Betty? Genotype. What do you understand by the term genotype? Yes, Mwanje Morris. Any idea?
No, teacher, we had not studied that topic yet.
Oh, sorry about that. But in O level, you must have looked at something of the sort.
Yes.
Maybe if you have forgotten.
Yeah, I have forgotten.
Okay, who can remind us? Yes, Catherine.
Okay, teacher, what I know about a genotype is that it describes a a complete set of genes, like the alleles you showed us from your screen, the two
Yes.
alleles. So a genotype just describes those two alleles.
Okay. Yeah, fine. It describes the two alleles. Basically, it mentions that's very good. That's very good. Thank you for that. So a genotype, Catherine, has mentioned that a genotype describes the two alleles, a combination of two alleles, or sometimes it could be called the genetic makeup of an organism. Basically, the genetic makeup or composition of an organism. However, if we look at the total number of chromosomes or total number of traits in an organism, that will also have another term, and that has another term called, let me type it here in the chat, it's called a genome. Genome. Hey, people had genetic makeup of an organism. Yes, Amanda. Okay, sorry. I had not seen your charts. Okay. Give them some milk. Nabuzare, I don't know which milk. Teacher, can the mule reproduce? Mules, once we have a cross between a horse and a donkey, the mule becomes sterile, and that term is called hybrid sterility, where the two organisms, two parents of different species, have crossed and have produced an organism that is not capable of reproducing successfully. So a mule cannot reproduce, but the horses and the donkeys do reproduce. And the reason as to why it cannot reproduce, it's because these two organisms have different numbers of chromosomes. So in case the number of chromosome becomes an odd number, for example, instead of having 46, let's take an example of human beings. In case you have 47 instead of 46, it becomes hard for the gametes to be formed with equal number of chromosomes. Remember, gametes are haploid, and and what was I mentioning? Someone was typing in the comments. So the mule cannot reproduce in basic terms, and that's because of the odd number of chromosomes that are formed in its gametes that make it is a liga also a breed? What do you mean? I haven't understood that. Is a liga also a breed? Mwanje, clarify.
Master, a liger is also a crossbreed.
A liga does that belong to the cat family?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. A liger would be formed between, is it between a lion and a tiger?
Yes.
Yeah, so it is a crossbreed. It's a hybrid, and it is formed when it is formed when a male lion, I think it's a male lion, crossbreeds and breeds with a female tiger. So the scientific name of a tiger is Panthera tigris. and the one for the lion is Panthera leo. You can see they share the same generic name, that is genus name, Panthera and Panthera. So meaning, since they share the same genus, they are very closely related, and when they crossbreed, they produce an organism called a liger, which Mwanje has told us about. It is it's a hybrid, not a breed. It's a hybrid or a crossbreed between a tiger and a lion. But is it able to grow and perform same duties of the parents? I don't know which is same duties of the parents, but we've mentioned a horse and a donkey. A donkey does heavy work majorly, and a horse, its work, it's not perform very heavy duties, but it is a good runner. So when a horse and a donkey cross to produce a mule will have a blend of characters between the horse and the donkey. So it will be capable of performing heavy duty work, and also it will be a very good runner. So it will run faster than the donkey, but it will also carry heavier things than the horse. That's why you can see on your screen, it is also having a blend of some of the traits which are visible. You see that the horse has small round eyes. The mule has wide eyes, meaning it inherited the gene for the wide eyes from the donkey. The horse has a long face, the mule has a long face, and the donkey has a short face. It means that the mule inherited the genes for the long face from the horse. Then the horse has short ears, the mule has long ears. It means that the long ears were inherited from the donkey. And that is basically what you can see and observe from that picture. Any more questions? Any more questions? Any other questions? Okay, that is hybrid. And I've also, during the explanation of the term hybrid, I mentioned about hybrid sterility. So that is a phenomenon or a situation where two parents that are of different species but closely related or belong to the same genus cross and produce an offspring that is not capable of reproducing successfully, or that the parents produce an offspring that is not capable of reproducing or producing viable offsprings. That is hybrid sterility. Okay, now let's go back to our terminologies. We talked about the genotype, homozygous. Okay, the other term is homozygous. And I want Bukenya Ibrahim to tell us what homozygous, the term homozygous means.
Homozygous, what I know?
Yes.
It is where both the arrays are recessive. No one is dominant to the other. No. Master.
Yes, please.
What I know homozygous is where both arrays are recessive.
Okay. It's a genotype where both alleles are identical. They can be both recessive or both dominant. Thank you for that, Bukenya. Yeah, so in either case, it can either be homozygous recessive or homozygous dominant, where both alleles are identical. Okay, so The other term is heterozygous. And Amanda, tell us, talk to us. What do you understand by the term heterozygous?
Here, the alleles of a particular characteristic are different.
Okay, different alleles, but the alleles are responsible for only one or a given characteristic. That's very good, Amanda. For example, you have an organism having both a dominant and a recessive allele. That genotype is said to be heterozygous. For example, if you are to look at the gender or the sex of individuals, females are homozygous, that is having XX, 2X chromosomes, whereas males are heterozygous, meaning they have one X chromosome and one Y chromosome. All right. Which other term have we not talked about? Someone can remind me. Just unmute, feel free to unmute and remind me the other term that we have not talked about. A test cross, okay. Amanda in the chat, a test cross. Who can tell us what a test cross is? A back cross, very good. A back cross. Anyone with an idea about a test cross or a back cross? A dihybrid individual or dihybrid cross? Monohybrid, you can also include that, Bakita, monohybrid cross. Codominant. Codominant has no R, but it has a hyphen there, but that's good. Yes. Okay. Now, Catherine, you have something to say.
Yeah, teacher, I wanted to give the meaning of test cross.
Okay, go ahead, please, Catherine.
Okay, test cross is mating of an individual with unknown genotype with a homozygous recessive individual.
Okay, yeah, that's very good. In case you have an organism whose genotype is not known or whose genotype you need to know, you need to carry out what we call a test cross, and that is by obtaining another organism that is homozygous recessive and crossing it with that organism whose genotype you are looking for. That's very good. That's very good, Catherine. Yeah, any other person to give us a definition of the back cross? Anyone, any other person with an idea? Okay, keep those key terms coming in the chat. I'll go back and review them. Who else has an idea about a back cross? Reciprocal cross. Wow, that's nice. Thank you for bringing them. Keep them coming. Meanwhile, people being quiet, it seems either they are thinking about it or it is not yet clicking in their minds. But a back cross, okay, now Catherine wants to save the nation.
Teacher, try.
Okay, Catherine. Yes, please, do try.
Okay. Back cross is mating an hybrid organism with its parents or with a parent having similar extics.
Come again.
Back cross is mating
Yes.
mating an hybrid organism.
With its parents.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that trial. So a backcross, it's a cross between, or it's mating a parent, rather an offspring with its parents. In human beings, that is not allowed. For example, you, in case you're a girl, you go and reproduce with your father. That is it called incest? That's a backcross. In case you have an offspring reproducing with its parents, that is called a backcross. However, in other organisms, that is normal. You find a male he-goat, which is an offspring, which is a kid or an offspring of its parent, fertilizing its mother. So that is called a backcross. Yeah, and it is only valid in some organisms. However, in others, like human beings, it is invalid because it might result into expression of harmful genes, that or lethal genes that will result into death of the offspring that will be produced. Okay, fine. A dihybrid cross. On the other hand, a dihybrid cross, dihybrid means looking at two different or distinct characters. So a dihybrid cross is mating a pair, rather mating individuals with two different characteristics that are being studied. For example, for this case here, in case you want to look at inheritance of the length of the ear and the size of the eye, those two characteristics would, in case you try to cross them, they would make up what we call a dihybrid cross. On the other hand, the other one would be the monohybrid cross, which is most common, that you looked at in O level. A monohybrid cross, it is a cross between parents. It's a mating parents with the one distinct character that is being studied. For example, in case you are looking at shape of the eyes, or in case you are looking at length of the face, in this example that is projected on your screen, length of the face, long face, short face. If the mule has a long face, it means that the allele for long face is dominant over the allele for short face. So and that's why the mule has a long face. Okay, then the other term is codominant. In codominance, okay, let me just begin by looking at dominance itself. In dominance, we have what we call the degree of dominance. Degree of dominance. And in this degree of dominance, for complete dominance, it is where an organism, rather it's where genotype, an allele is expressed, one allele is expressed in a heterozygous state and masks the expression of the recessive allele, and that is complete dominance. So it prevents the expression of the other recessive allele. Then incomplete dominance, yes, Bakita, you want to give an answer?
No,
Do you want to
I'm
give an
requesting
answer?
you to pardon on dominance.
Complete dominance, right?
Yes.
Okay, complete dominance, yeah, it's a situation or it's a phenomenon where one allele masks or prevents the expression of another allele, but are found on the same locus of that are responsible for the same characteristic. That is in a heterozygous state. So in a heterozygous state, a phenomenon where one allele completely or prevents expression of another allele. In a heterozygous state, it's called complete dominance. For example, if you take this very example here, we are seeing a donkey and a horse. A donkey has a long face, a horse has a short face, then a mule has a long face, meaning the allele for long face is completely dominant over the allele for the short face. And in genetic principles, a dominant allele is represented by an uppercase letter or a capital letter, whereas a recessive allele is represented by a lowercase letter. Then let's move on to incomplete dominance. In incomplete dominance, it is a situation or a phenomenon where one allele blends with another allele to produce offsprings that have a blend of or a mixture of characters or a mixture of traits between the two parents. For example, for the case of let me get here another example here. And in the case of flowers, last time I gave an example of flowers. Yeah, for example, here, let me expand this here, this section here. Yeah, this case here, in case we have a plant that has a red flower crossing with another plant that has the white flowers, they will produce offsprings that have that, in case the parents are homozygous for both traits, homozygous dominant and homozygous recessive, they produce an offspring with a blend, rather homozygous, okay, with a blend of characters. Usually in incomplete dominance, we always prefer to use another letter, but in case you use a lowercase letter, it is also very fine. However, when you use a lowercase letter, you must be very sober, just like I mentioned in class. Should be very sober. When you use a lowercase, you can use, for incomplete dominance, you can use capital R and capital W to represent the alleles for red and white respectively. However, in case you use lowercase r to represent white, that is also fine, because if you go to BS, it gives you that alternative, that alternatively codominant or incomplete dominant alleles can be represented by a lowercase letter, but in that case you must have defined your alleles. For example, let lowercase r represent the allele for white color of flower petals. So in this case, where we have a blend of characters being formed between a red and white parent forming a pink flower, This case is called incomplete dominance. So the other terminology that looks at the degree of dominance is codominance, which Amanda typed in at 9:36 a.m. Codominance, on the other hand, codominance, it is a situation or a phenomenon where individuals' offsprings that are produced from parents with different alleles, with the different alleles, both express, just to repeat that, a phenomenon where parents that have different alleles have their alleles expressed in the offsprings in equal proportions. That is codominance. For example, in case we have in case we use flowers still, a case where we have, in case we cross a red flower and a white flower, red flowered plant with a white flowered plant, to produce, okay, let's use this image here, a red flowered plant with a white flowered plant, to produce an offspring that has flowers that have both red and petals with both red and white colors, that is codominance. For example, there's an example here that has been projected: camellia flowers. The white camellia flower crossing the red camellia flower, producing a red and white camellia flower that have a blend of characters, not a blend, but having both characters being expressed themselves outwardly. So the other example is the Rowan cattle. The Rowan coat color in cattle. You find there are some cows that have fur. Let me visit the site. Let me go back here. I don't have time for verifying here. Okay. So in case we are to use this image here, you see that this cow here has both red fur and white. Is it red or brown? I don't know, but red fur and white fur. So this red fur and white fur was produced by crossing a parent, one bull had, or a cow had red fur throughout, and the other female cow had white fur. So at the end of the day, they produce a calf that has a blend of characters, that is having both red and white coat color. So that is an example of codominance. It's an example of codominance. Okay. Any questions so far? Any questions? Before we go to the other definitions, selfing, reciprocal cross, first filial. Silence means no question, or silence means that people have gone to prepare breakfast because it is almost break time. Please unmute and talk. Say something at least.
Mister, we are following.
That's very nice. That's very nice. Any other person, unmute and talk to us. There's a question following. Amanda says it's following. Okay, fine. Nabuzale has refused to unmute, but I think she's following. That's my assumption. If she's not following, God is seeing her, whether she's following.
there.
Okay. Yo, fine. Let's look at the other terms. Let's finalize with these terms that are in the chat. Mr. Joshua might not join us in the mid-morning session, but we can proceed with the biology even in the mid-morning. I think the biology will be too much today and also tomorrow. I don't know. But
Teacher,
nonetheless, yes.
Mr. Wanyonyi, Mr. Joshua left work.
Okay, you have an assignment to do.
Yes.
Will you do it online on Zoom or it will be offline?
He told us to discuss.
On Zoom.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, fine. I will start the meeting and I'll let you discuss. You'll be the host. I'll make you the host. But I'll be popping in to see what is taking place. You know, some of you like dancing on the live. Where's the other girl? Petronella is not here. Petronella last time was dancing in the live and people were very happy. I don't know whether it was Petronella or Bakita. Any of those two. Fine. Let me hope the dancing will be there after the discussion. Let the discussion be meaningful. Fine. When he is around over, I don't know what you are asking for, or Bukenya, you are not clear. Yes, we have 5 minutes. And in these 5 minutes, I want to wrap. I'm going to move very fast to you'll have to bear with me to define these other terms which have not yet been defined. Selfing refers to crossing offsprings from the same parents. For example, if you met with your brother, that is called selfing. That is in biology, in genetic terms, it is called selfing. But in normal terms, that is incest, and it is not allowed. Please don't do that. A reciprocal cross, I thought he said we had to present when he comes back. I don't know. I'll call him and I find out. The other term is the reciprocal cross. A reciprocal cross is done when the experimenter or the person who is carrying out a genetic experiment swaps the genotype of the parents. For example, if in the first cross he crossed a dominant mother with a recessive father, in the second cross, while carrying out a reciprocal cross, the experimenter will use a recessive mother and a dominant father. In that case, that is a reciprocal cross, changing the genotypes of the parents in a given genetic experiment is what we call a reciprocal cross. A first filial generation, that is the first generation of offsprings obtained by crossing pure breeding parents, or wild type. Okay, there's another term called the wild type. Wild type refers to the most common genotype of parents, and that is the wild type, the commonest genotype of the parents or of individuals in a genetic cross. That is called the wild type. A second filial generation, it is a generation of offsprings obtained by crossing offsprings in the first filial, or by selfing offsprings in the first filial generation, or by selfing offsprings obtained that offsprings that have heterozygous genotypes. That is in the first filial. We get the second filial genotypes. Then Bukenya was asking about a linked gene. Linked genes are those genes that are, or that have alleles carried, traits that have alleles carried on the same chromosome. When the alleles are carried on the same chromosome, those genes are said to be linked genes. And linked genes can be divided into two: autosomal linkage and sex linkage. Autosomal linkage refers to having two different genes carried on chromosomes that are autosomes, or chromosomes that do not determine the sex of the individual. Whereas sex linkage refers to having genes carried on sex chromosomes. I think I've answered that. I think I've answered all that. Nabuzal, you have something to say before we end the lesson?
Yeah, teacher, I have a question.
Please do ask.
Yeah, it's confusing so much. So, teacher, when there is linkage, is it
Yes.
that is a must that crossing over occurs or no?
Okay. For linked genes, for a gene to be linked, the distance between these two genes must be very short. And with the linked genes, even when crossing over occurs, the two genes are inherited together. They do not separate during crossing over. That's for the linked genes. However, if these genes are found on the same chromosome, let me go back to this. If those genes are found on the same chromosome, if the genes are found on the same group chromosome, if you are to consider this picture here, is my pointer or cursor? Okay. If this gray color represents a gene, and this blue color also represents a gene, once crossing over occurs between these two chromosomes that are homologous, the gray and the blue color do not separate because the distance between them is very short, and in that case the genes are said to be linked. However, in case you are considering this blue gene here and this Is that lemon green? And the other lemon green gene up there, this lemon green gene, once crossing over occurs, the distance between these two genes is very long, and if crossing over occurs, then these two genes will separate, and in that case the genes will no longer be linked. They are no longer said to be linked. I don't know whether it's understood up to that point, Catherine.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Any other person with a question? Any other person with a question? Okay. So today was basically introduction to, we were reminding ourselves on the key terms that we shall be encountering. And in our next session, I think you'll remind me, and we need to talk about the Mendelian laws. Then we link the Mendelian laws to monohybrid and dihybrid inheritance, and we also see some of the extensions of Mendelian laws. Then with the time, if time allows, we shall be looking at the other sub-topics that people were mentioning about: immunity, asthma, allergic reactions, electron transport chain, plant hormones. It is time. Yes, Akumu Betty. Yeah, you're a very good timekeeper. And we are stopping here, Akumu. And I don't want to make you go hungry, because I know you've not yet taken something and you need to go and eat something before you come and join in. Yes, I'm aware of that. In case there is no question, please, you are free to leave at leisure. I'm going to leave this meeting open, so that at Mr. Please send the link for yesterday's biology lesson for yesterday in the WhatsApp group. Yeah, I think I sent the link. Was it yesterday's link? I sent two links actually for yesterday. For yesterday's lessons, Bukenya, I sent two links. Maybe I'll have to pin the message, or you go back and see. I sent two links, each having a passcode. The passcodes are there as well, so you can go there and look at them, Bukenya. Fine, I'll leave this meeting open so that at exactly 10:40 you'll come back, and okay, I'm going to pin them. I'm going to pin the links. Yeah, have a good morning. Goodbye, Catherine.